Hey, what's good? When this is that non-rating the clutch, and I want to talk about some now official and confirmed news going on around the NBA, and that is Lauri Markkanen has now re-signed with the Utah Jazz for 5 years, making $238 million during the duration of that contract. And congrats on him, and congrats on the Utah Jazz. But I just gotta say, for contending teams like the Golden State Warriors, the LA Lakers, the Miami Heat, and the San Antonio Spurs, we are cooked. Like, oh my gosh, this is literally like a horrible thing to happen for them. I mean, like, because Lauri Markkanen, he is literally the perfect complementary piece to any either championship or playoff aspiring teams like the four I just mentioned just now, because Lauri Markkanen, he is a 7-foot player and he can do everything you need, especially with his career revival in Utah, because during his time in both the Chicago Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers, he wasn't like, didn't really fully have a role, but now like him like taking over for the Utah Jazz, like he has just been nothing but amazing. Like, he is really tall. He's like, as I mentioned, a 7-footer. He can space the floor. He's really great at attacking at the rim. He can shoot. He's just an overall amazing player, and he can do a little bit of everything, which is exactly what any championship contending team needs, especially taking down a team like either the Denver Nuggets with Nikola Jokic, which I'm going to talk about very shortly in my next video, or the Boston Celtics now that they got someone like Kristaps Porzingis. Like, you need someone like a Lauri Markkanen to be able to contain those guys. And the fact that he's re-signed with Utah, I mean, it's good for them, but most people would think that they would be on a full-on rebuild, like, because they're not like championship contenders. But this signing indicates to me that they're gonna make it work with Lauri, and especially for one more year at least, before maybe possibility they could, all these contending teams can try again, because he's locked in for the next for minimum at least a year before they can even consider trading him. So Utah is probably just like thinking they're going to go all in with Lauri Markkanen, and having someone like Colin Sexton in the backcourt, who I believe is a really great player in my personal opinion. He can really score and light up. They're going to try to see if they can at least contend for a playoff spot, and they believe like, Lauri, this is our guy, and that we're going to stick with him, and we're going to reward him for his amazing play. And it shouldn't be too much of a surprise, because a few weeks ago when people were discussing Lauri Markkanen being traded, it was never like Lauri Markkanen either requested a trade or Utah is like desperately trying to get rid of him, because the Warriors, they were the ones that were pushing the most to get Lauri Markkanen to basically extend Steph Curry's championship window. But they were asking for basically everything, all the Warriors' assets, and it was like, it just showed to me that Utah Jazz, they weren't seriously considering trading him. If they're like, okay, we'll trade him, but we want everything in return. We want the farm, basically. And that should have been like an early sign that they don't plan on trading him unless they're going to get something that they know they're going to screw over the other team, and most likely they were going to end up like re-signing him anyway, because they value him so much to the point where he's worth like 4 or 5 first-round picks on top of getting 2 or 3 young rising star players. Like, that indicates that this guy is not going anywhere for an asking price like that, because I mean, Lauri Markkanen, I'll give him credit. He's, like I said, he has an amazing career revival in Utah, but he hasn't helped the Utah Jazz accomplish much, like in terms of like playoff success or championship success or anything like that. So I don't know what it is. Maybe they're trying to maybe just completely build around him, and maybe have a second star, and follow the formula of the Denver Nuggets and the Boston Celtics. Maybe that's what they're doing right now. I don't know, but I just don't see Utah as a true threat. And it doesn't even make sense for Utah to just be like, oh, we're not contending anyway, so we're just gonna give it to someone just because they want to get something in return. It's not like they're just gonna give Lauri Markkanen to let's say the Warriors for basically 50 cents on the dollar. They want to be able to get as much assets as possible to, maybe if they are going to full on rebuild mode, to be able to turn around quickly to be contenders again. And plus, I mean, why would they try to trade for either low contracts or maybe draft picks that could end up in the late first round, because they are contenders, and if they're contenders deep in the playoffs, those first round picks will end up being in the 20s anyway, so it's not going to mean much. So why would they want to settle for that when they have someone who's in his prime? He's 27 years old, and he just had this past season averaging 23.2 points per game, 8.2 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.9 steals, 0.5 blocks, shooting a very impressive 48% from the field and 39.9% from three-point range, which for elite shooters, around 40% three-point shooting, that is like amazing right there. And having 1.4 turnovers, like he can do basically everything. He's in his prime. Why would you just settle for like a half decent offer just for the sake of like maybe helping out a team? No, it's a business at the end of the day. You want to do what's best for your organization, and if you know this guy is extremely valuable, and if you're going to give him up, you might as well get as much as possible in return. Like, that's realistic, of course, to be able to, whether in this case turn around your rebuild quickly or have the most money in cap space, or be able to like maybe have some tradable contracts to maybe flip that for a potential star that is going to be better than Markkanen to begin with, and then you can be able to like improve as a team. But basically none of those options came about. They didn't want to settle for Golden State's like acceptable offer. They didn't want to settle for that. They didn't want to settle for maybe like, you know, a bunch of draft picks that could turn out to be useless. They were like, all right, we don't see any value in any of these offers. We're going to re-sign Lauri anyway. We believe in him. He's our guy, and he's in his prime. He's only going to get better from here. We'll stick with him. We gave him a chance when nobody else gave him a chance during his low point, so we're going to stick by him. That's what I believe Utah is basically saying when doing this throughout this whole process. And I believe it's good for Lauri. I believe it's good that he sticks with a team that appreciates him and took him on when practically nobody did during his low points. And, you know, loyalty is very key, especially from both sides. So I like it overall, and very smart move by the Utah Jazz, which I expect from someone like Danny Ainge, who's been known for making impressive and finessing trades of basically like making sure that he gets the right deal and that he knows he's going to be safe. So he didn't find an offer like that, so he's like, all right, I'll re-sign him, and we're good from here. So do I expect Utah to be contenders in the playoffs? Maybe. I can see them maybe competing for a play-in spot, but I don't see them making any deep threats, at least with their current present roster, unless they can either save money or maybe move some contracts and maybe like set themselves up for next offseason to maybe be up there with one of the most highest cap space possible, and then be able to re-sign some free agents. Or they might be banking on the development of Walker Kessler or Colin Sexton. They could be leaning on that. I don't know. But I just don't see them like making too much wave, especially in the postseason, at least not this season. So let me know what you guys think, Utah Jazz fans. How do you guys feel? Do you guys like this re-signing? Why or why not? Do you believe it's the right move for Lauri Markkanen, or do you believe you guys want to go on a full-on rebuild mode so you can be able to like save as much money as possible to be able to sign like 2 or 3 superstars? I'd love to hear you guys out. What you guys like to how would you guys like to operate this down below in the comment section? And while you're at it, please like and subscribe to this channel. I certainly love and appreciate every single last one of y'all. Thank you all so much. God bless, and talk soon.